Welcome and welcome back everyone. So in this tutorial we're going to be doing something a bit different and we're going to be using Photoshop CC to create a 3D Mario coin. So as always, if you like this, if you find it useful, please like and subscribe and comment below making requests. We're always happy to try and help you out with those. But let's just get started. So we're going to create a new composition, and this is going to be 1200 by 1200 pixels. Should be just a nice square. And don't have to worry about any of the other settings, leave them as default. So Photoshop has a sort of basic but good enough 3D system in here, and that's what we're going to be taking advantage of today. So let's create a coin. We're going to use our circle, our ellipse tool, which if you click into your shapes, choose ellipse, and the colors don't really matter so much for now, so let's just create our first circle. And let's drag this centrally. You'll see it wants to snap into these sections. So that's going to be pretty nice. We're going to take that one and we're going to duplicate it. And we can duplicate by right clicking and saying duplicate or Control J. On our second, which I will rename ring, this is going to be our fat lip area. We are going to go back to our tools and give, well, first of all, let's hide this one. Give this a no fill, but a big fat outer ring. And there's like a whole host of nice options up here. And all I'm doing is I'm increasing the size that I want this lip. That should do. Yeah, that should be quite good. Cool. I'm going to actually scale this up a bit because I want it to, you notice the lip, the stroke came on the inside. I want it to look like the stroke is on the outside. So I'm going to scale up a bit on that side and scale up on this side. Whenever you're doing stuff like this, just remember to make use of holding that shift key. That shift key is going to scale dynamically. When you put your ellipse down, holding that shift key, it's going to place it all down dynamically. So all I did there to increase the size was Control T for my transform tool and just pulled up my corners and hit enter when you're done. Cool. So I've got most parts. I just want one more part now, which is going to be my indent. So I'm going to go across to my rectangle tool and create my one. So again, we can reposition this or tweak it even if we wanted to. Let's look for the snapping point and almost there it is. Shall I make that a bit bigger? Yeah, I'll make this a bit longer. Cool. Excellent. And hit enter and we're happy with that. Let's delete this background because we don't need this background. Alright, so there we have it. It's a 2D sort of coin. The colours aren't right or anything, but this is where we get into the more exciting stuff, the more exciting section. And what we're going to do, in fact, I'm almost missing a trick. What I actually need to do is this rectangle here, because our coin has got 3 depths, you know, we've got the outer ring, the mid, and like the low extrusion, we're going to want this indent, and Photoshop doesn't really, at least that I've seen, do a nice 3-layer extrusion, the sort of style that we want. So I'm going to do is I'm going to take this shape by, I'm just going to rasterize all these. I'm going to take this shape, I'm going to use my Magic Wand tool, which is here, to select the inside of this area, go down to my bottom ellipse and press delete. So now we have this empty space. And that way it'll look like we have this set in the middle. If we were to zoom in there, we can, maybe not when zooming in, but here it looks like it's not going to fit. So I'm just going to scale this up a touch again. Control T, and while holding shift, pull out in those directions. Excellent. I think we are ready now. So all we're going to do is, let's start with our ring. and we are just going to right click and say extrude new layer, so new 3D extrusion, and it's going to do its thing. Give it a minute, it's loading. Say yes, I would like to switch to a 3D layer, thanks for reminding me, and it's going to come through with some mighty extrusion on there. And just for sake of test, I'm just going to drop that to roughly about 7, and I'll go over all this more in a minute, but before I do, I want to extrude all my layers back. Go back to which you came. I should have turned that. Cool. So go back into my layers over here. Same thing, 3D extrusion. This coin. Let's drop this down. That two will do for now. Back in and 3D extrusion. And this can go about 1. Give or take a bit. Cool. So now we're in the 3D, let's quickly sort of skim across what kind of options we've got in here. So you'll notice that all the channels and panels will have changed. We've still got our layers and we can affect all those, but if we want to control the 3D, it's all in here. We've got a whole bunch of options, like our camera view, we can move that around. Controls at the back. Or press default camera, and it should go back. Cool. We've got a light, and then we have our shape. So this is the one that we're mainly going to be concerned with, and that'll be pretty cool. Let's change this to front and back, so don't think it'll make a difference because we're not affecting it. And in here, this is where we've got all our materials, and this is where we're going to change our color and stuff, but we're going to do that last. What we want to do is, you'll notice when I try and rotate things, if I want to look around, it's only selecting the one part that I have. So what we need to do is we need to sort of merge all these together. So we're going to go to our layers again, and holding shift, I'm going to select, so I've got my 3 layers all together, and I'm going to press Control E. Control E. And that's going to merge them all together. So now if I go across to here and press my current view, I can move around the whole thing. And already we can sort of see what we've got. But I can still affect everything else because I think my ring is too deep. So, oops. If you're not selecting your camera, you're going to have a bad time. So let's just get the outside so we can see the depth, get a nice view. And I'm going to go down to my ring, and I can tweak the extrusion over here to make it a bit better. And looks like it fits a bit nice, and I'm just going to push it back on my Z-axis. Go back up to my camera and let's have a look around. Nice, that's looking pretty good. Got about the right amount of depth, a lot happier with that. The right depth in there. And then, we could see that spinning around. But we just got one more thing that we want to change. And that is our materials, our colors. So we want better colors. If I go to my rectangle, so this is my inside thing. I mentioned before, if you click on all of these are your materials, so they're different sides. And up here, we have a whole host of different materials. This is like a nice bunch of presets. So if I set this to red, you'll see that sort of looks like a cottony red. We've got a blue. And lucky for us, there's already a nice gold one. So let's select gold, and that'll switch to gold. But we're going to need to do that for all of them. So the best way to do that is to select them all with the shift key, select gold. And we're going to need to do that for all of our shapes. Again, select all and set to gold. And then same for our outer ring, select all with shift and be gold. Alright, let's grab our camera, shall we, and have a look around. Look at that. How nice is that? You can't really see there because our light's on the opposite side. Photoshop light's on the opposite side, but it's the same as well there. And that's pretty good. We can actually grab the light here and move it around, you know, get like a bit of a different feel for it. And yeah, I like that. I am happy with that. So the problem with Photoshop's 3D is that by default everything comes through huge high poly. So this has worked in a pre-rendered video, but if we wanted to do a bit more with it, what we would have to do is go into 3D, and then we go into simplify our meshes. So let's make sure we've got our meshes selected. 3D, simplify meshes, and we'll see in a sec just how hugely detailed like this is. Look at that. Look at that madness. So we're just going to bring this down from, instead of it being 100%, let's roughly try 25%. That looks a lot better. That's going to be a lot lower poly, and it's not going to be as insanely detailed as it needs to be, because it just does not need to be that highly detailed for a coin, like a simple collect coin. But I mean, ultimately, looks fun, looks cool. And turn the brightness down a bit on the coin, and set this up. So at this point, once you've got your coin finished, if you're going to use this just as a still 2D image, then find your position and just press File, Save As, and set it as like a PNG. But what I would like to do is I would like to use this as an object file. So I'm going to go to 3D, and I'm going to say Export my 3D object. Export my object. And I'm going to say save this as an OBJ, because OBJ is it's pretty universal. So if everyone kind of likes OBJ, and I could bring that into Max and Maya or Unreal or anything like that. And same thing with like targas and PNGs, both pretty good examples. And then I just export it out, and I'm going to call this coin. A lot of N's for some reason, and I'm good. I now have a 3D Mario coin that I could take and do whatever I wish with, be that Unreal Engine or anything like that. My coin is good. Cool. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed that. Hope you learned a bit and you try Photoshop 3D out at some point, because it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Thanks for watching.